What a treat. I get both of you.
We're so excited to be here.
Where do we find your character? Where do we find him?
So Diana has been around. You know, in the first movie, we got to establish Wonder Woman and to tell the journey of Diana Prince becoming Wonder Woman.
Right.
And in this story, we meet her in 1984. She's been around. She's been helping mankind. You know, doing what she feels she needs to do. Her calling. Pretty lonely because she lost some of her teammates over the years. And then something crazy is about to happen to her. Dun, 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 dun.
And that is the tease, folks. So
There you go.
good. Now, after you saw this film, a cut, maybe like one of the first cuts of this film, I hear you cried. Is that accurate?
Yes, and I'm not an easy crier.
No.
Just to, save my pride.
She's no crybaby, folks. She
Like
is
when I'm
one for a
pregnant, I'm not the
reason.
type of women who watch commercials and cry.
But you didn't do that for the first one, but you did it
No,
this time
I
around.
had such a strong reaction to this movie.
Why?
And it caught me off guard. Why? I think it's. I can't tell you what happened in the movie that made me cry. I can just tell you it was the very beginning. But I've never seen that. All of a sudden, I wasn't the gal, Wonder Woman, the actress, the producer who were on set and were there when everything was shot. I was little girl from a suburb in Israel watching all by myself in the cinema, which is for itself a surreal experience, watching this thing, and I've seen this amazing woman, girl, doing this amazing things. And I did not expect that. And all of a sudden, I didn't even notice, I forgot it was. So it was very effective. And that's the moments where you're like, this is why it's so freaking important. This is why it's not like any other movie. We're doing something that we hope is gonna have an impact, but it hasn't. It's very impactful on us already. So touch wood, it's a good sign, and I hope you and the audience will have a similar reaction.
I mean, if
we
you had
really
that-
aspire to do something special and unique and meaningful.
Well, I mean, and it must have, maybe it brought emotions upon you because here you are suiting up for the second time in this iconic role, and you're a mom of two daughters.
Yeah, that too, for sure. I'm sure, but I gotta tell you, it's not just for the girls. It is for the girls, but we can't reach the place where we're gonna stop talking about female, men, women empowerment, feminism, and all that before we work on both, female and male. Like, we can't just empower women only by focusing on women. We also need to educate the boys and the men. So, a young boy that goes to see in the cinema this amazing woman that does those amazing things, that he can believe a woman could do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
it goes both ways.
And you guys have done such a great job pairing up these two fearless women. I mean, just taking on the big screen. But
Patty
what has
Jenkins.
been?
I
Yes!
know
You got
me.
it. You got that magic touch. What was the most difficult thing for you in bringing this comeback, the sequel, to the big screen?
I think every time I make a movie, I'm trying to make a masterpiece. Like, that's what you'll never get there. You'll never feel that you did, but that's always what you're trying to do. So as wonderful as the success of the first movie was, this is its own movie, and I love this character, and I love this person that I'm working with. So this movie, that movie was done, but even while I was making that movie, I started to see what I felt like the second movie could be. Its own movie.
Okay, so on standalone, it's
Totally,
not like...
it is a.
It has to do. It's the same character. It's
And
the
there's
same,
we don't break time continuity. It's not a
Right,
reboot.
yeah.
So it's a sequel in that way, but it's not a sequel to a story. It's its own story. And so it was something that really started to come upon me while we were shooting the first movie, and we started to work on it then. So, I am aiming for this movie to be better in every way, and I feel like we aspired to make something that we felt was grand and fantastic and something you'd want to go see in the theater. And, you know, we did something that I think is super exciting, which is, you know, someone was just asking me about technology and saying, do you feel a need to stay ahead of the curve? I said, no, I don't. I just feel a need to make a great movie. However, when I've observed what was happening in technology, I said, how about we do the opposite? Instead of using technology to do more things on green screen and in CGI, let's use technology to get wires to do things, to make people do it for real. So we do so much of this movie as practical action. It was so incredible to watch because we went to real locations and we shot real people doing real incredible sequences on wires. And a lot of the wire rigs we did, no one's ever done before because the wires have gotten so sophisticated, but it's gone out of vogue of shooting that way.
We had to have like special studios for that because it was all so big and
weeks
everywhere.
and weeks of rigging, really hard for her, really hard for the actors. But it was like I'm
still recovering.
I feel so lucky we got to make this massive grand film.
And we are flashing back to 1984, so perhaps that's why we're taking a little throwback to some of these means of filming. So
Yeah,
can't wait to see the big hair.
Awesome.
Oh my God! Just
plenty of
wait.
The costume.
Just wait.
I love it. We're all 80s gals, right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Obrigada.
Ah, yes.
We're still in Brazil.